The Roman-Germanic Wars were a series of military conflicts between the Roman Empire and various Germanic tribes from the late Republic through the fall of the Western Empire. These wars were pivotal in shaping the borders, political landscape, and eventual decline of Rome. Here are some of the key confrontations and their historical significance. 1. The Cimbric and Teutonic Wars, 113 to 101 BCE. Background. The Cimbri and Teutons, Germanic tribes, migrated southward, threatening Roman territories. Key battles. Battle of Noriae, 112 BCE, Roman forces were defeated. Battle of Arasio, 105 BCE, a catastrophic Roman loss, with up to 80,000 soldiers killed. Battles of Aquae 102 BCE, and Vercelli, 101 BC, Gaius Marius reformed the Roman army and decisively defeated the tribes. Impact. These wars highlighted the vulnerabilities of Rome and the need for military reforms, laying the groundwork for the professional Roman army. 2. The Battle of the Teutoburg Forest, 9 CE. Background. Under Emperor Augustus, Rome sought to expand into Germania beyond the Rhine. Event. Germanic tribes, led by Arminius, ambushed and annihilated 3 Roman legions under Publius Quinctilius Varus in the dense forests of Germania. Outcome. Rome abandoned plans to expand east of the Rhine, establishing it as the de facto boundary of the empire. Legacy. This battle was a turning point, demonstrating the effectiveness of guerrilla warfare against Roman legions and marking a psychological blow to Rome. 3. The Marcomannic Wars, 166 to 180 CE. Background. A coalition of Germanic and other tribes invaded Roman territory during the reign of Marcus Aurelius. Key campaigns. The Romans pushed the Germanic tribes back across the Danube after fierce fighting. Temporary Roman control was established in Germania, but maintaining it strained the empire's resources. Impact. These wars exposed the empire's growing difficulty in defending its vast borders and foreshadowed later pressures from barbarian incursions. 4. The Gothic Wars, 3rd to 4th centuries CE. Background. The Goths, originating from Scandinavia and the Baltic region, began pressuring the Roman Empire. Key battles. Battle of Nisus, 268 CE, a Roman victory against the Goths. Battle of Adrianople, 378 CE, the Eastern Roman Emperor Valens suffered a devastating defeat, signaling the vulnerability of Roman legions. Impact. The Adrianople defeat accelerated the fragmentation of Roman authority and opened the door for Germanic settlement within Roman territories. 5. The fall of Rome and Germanic kingdoms, 5th century CE. Background. Germanic tribes like the Vandals, Visigoths, Ostrogoths, and Franks progressively eroded Roman control. Key events. Sack of Rome, 410 CE, the Visigoths under Alaric sacked the city. Establishment of Vandal Kingdom, 439 CE, the Vandals seized North Africa, a crucial Roman breadbasket. Fall of Western Rome, 476 CE, Odoacer, a Germanic leader, deposed the last Roman emperor, Romulus Augustulus. Outcome. The Germanic tribes carved out successor kingdoms, blending Roman and Germanic traditions. Significance of the Roman-Germanic Wars. Cultural fusion. These wars resulted in the blending of Roman and Germanic cultures, influencing the development of medieval Europe. Military evolution. Roman legions adapted to decentralized and mobile Germanic fighting styles, but eventually could not sustain their vast empire. Political transformation. The Germanic tribes played a key role in transitioning Europe from Roman imperial rule to the early medieval feudal system. The Roman-Germanic Wars remain a defining narrative of resilience. 1.1 The importance of the Rhine and Danube frontiers. The Rhine and Danube rivers served as the natural and strategic boundaries of the Roman Empire in Europe. These rivers separated the Roman territories, marked by cities, roads, and agriculture, from the dense forests and tribal lands of Germania. While Rome viewed this border as a defensive line, the Germanic tribes saw it as an opportunity for raids, trade, or even migration. 1.2 The world of the Germanic tribes before Roman contact. The Germanic tribes lived in scattered communities in northern and central Europe. They relied on agriculture, animal husbandry, and hunting, with no centralized government or cities like those of the Romans. Instead, their society revolved around warrior elites, kinship groups, and a culture of loyalty to local chieftains. These tribes often fought amongst themselves but would unite against a common external threat. Their mobility, knowledge of terrain, and guerrilla tactics contrasted sharply with the discipline and structured hierarchy of the Roman legions. 1.3 Roman expansion meets Germanic resistance. The Romans first encountered Germanic tribes during their expansion into Gaul in the 2nd century BCE. Initially, these interactions were limited to trade and minor skirmishes. However, as Rome's ambitions grew and the Germanic tribes migrated southward, conflict became inevitable. 2. Major conflicts between Rome and the Germanic tribes. 2.1 The Cimbric and Teutonic Wars. 113 to 101 BCE. The Cimbric and Teutonic Wars marked the first large-scale confrontation between Rome and migrating Germanic tribes. The conflict set a precedent for future clashes. Cause: climate change and overpopulation forced the Cimbri and Teutons to migrate southwards into Roman territories. Initially seeking settlement, they clashed with Rome after being refused. Key events: Battle of Noriae 112 BCE. The Romans suffered a defeat as they underestimated the threat posed by the Cimbri. Battle of Orazio 105 BCE, a catastrophic Roman defeat, with up to 80,000 soldiers killed in one of Rome's worst military disasters. Battle of Aquae Sextii 102 BC. Gaius Marius reformed the Roman army and secured a decisive victory over the Teutons. Battle of Vercelli 101 BC. Marius defeated the Cimbri, ending the threat. Impact: these wars revealed the vulnerability of Rome's military system, prompting significant reforms under Gaius Marius, including the professionalization of the legions. This conflict also highlighted the growing pressure Rome faced from northern migratory tribes. 2.2 The Battle of the Teutoburg Forest. 9 CE. The Battle of the Teutoburg Forest was a watershed moment in Roman history, representing one of its greatest defeats and a turning point in its expansionist policies. Cause: after conquering much of Germania west of the Rhine, Rome sought to expand its control further east. Arminius, a chieftain of the Cherusei tribe and a former Roman ally, united several tribes against Rome. Key events: Arminius lured the Roman general Publius Quinctilius Varus and his 3 legions into the dense Teutoburg forest under the guise of quelling a local rebellion. The Romans were ambushed, surrounded, and annihilated over several days. Around 20,000 Roman soldiers were killed. Impact: Rome abandoned its plans to conquer Germania east of the Rhine. The defeat severely damaged Roman morale and marked a psychological blow to the empire. Arminius became a symbol of Germanic resistance, while the Rhine was established as the empire's permanent frontier in the north. 2.3 The Marcomannic Wars. 166 to 180 CE. The Marcomannic Wars were a prolonged conflict between Rome and a coalition of Germanic tribes during the reign of Emperor Marcus Aurelius. Cause: the movement of the Marcomanni and other tribes into Roman territory was driven by pressure from neighboring tribes and the Huns in Eastern Europe. Key events: the Germanic coalition launched a massive invasion of Roman provinces, reaching as far as northern Italy. Marcus Aurelius personally led the Roman legions in a series of counteroffensives. Several victories pushed the Germanic tribes back beyond the Danube, but the conflict remained unresolved at the time of Marcus Aurelius' death. Impact: the wars exposed the vulnerability of Rome's northern frontier and strained its economy. Marcus Aurelius' efforts to establish permanent control over parts of Germania were abandoned after his death. These wars marked the beginning of Rome's declining ability to defend its borders against external threats. 2.4 The Gothic Wars. 3rd to 4th centuries CE. The Gothic Wars were a series of confrontations with the Goths, a Germanic people who emerged as a dominant force in Eastern Europe. Cause: the Goths migrated southward into Roman territory due to pressure from the Huns. Their increasing raids along the Danube frontier brought them into direct conflict with Rome. Key events: Battle of Nisus, 268 CE, Rome won a decisive victory against the Goths, temporarily stabilizing the frontier. Battle of Adrianople, 378 CE, the Eastern Roman Emperor Valens suffered a devastating defeat, with his army annihilated by the Goths. The sack of Rome in 410 CE by the Visigoths under Alaric marked a turning point in the empire's decline. Impact: Adrianople demonstrated Rome's inability to effectively counter Germanic migrations. The Goths were later granted settlements within the empire, paving the way for further incursions. 2.5 The fall of the Western Roman Empire, 5th century CE. The final phase of the Roman-Germanic Wars culminated in the collapse of the Western Roman Empire. Key events: the Vandals established a kingdom in North Africa, cutting off vital resources. The Visigoths, Ostrogoths, and Franks carved out kingdoms in Roman territory. In 476 CE, Odoacer, a Germanic chieftain, deposed the last Roman emperor, Romulus Augustulus, marking the end of the Western Roman Empire. Impact: Germanic tribes replaced Roman authority in Western Europe, creating a fragmented political landscape that would define the medieval period. 3. Long-term impacts. 3.1 The decline of Roman power. The continuous wars with Germanic tribes drained Rome's resources, weakened its borders, and exposed its vulnerabilities. These conflicts accelerated the decline of the Western Roman Empire and reshaped the geopolitical map of Europe. 3.2 The rise of Germanic kingdoms. Germanic tribes established powerful kingdoms on former Roman territories, blending Roman administrative practices with their own traditions. The Visigothic, Ostrogothic, and Frankish kingdoms became dominant forces in medieval Europe. 3.3 Cultural fusion. The integration of Roman and Germanic cultures laid the foundation for European medieval civilization. Latin influenced the languages of the Germanic tribes, while Christianity, adopted from Rome, became the unifying religion of Europe. 4. Conclusion. The Roman-Germanic Wars were not merely a series of military confrontations but a transformative era in European history. These conflicts reshaped the Roman Empire, led to the formation of new kingdoms, and set the stage for the medieval world. The struggle between Rome and the Germanic tribes is a tale of resilience, adaptation, and the enduring impact of cultural exchanges that continue to influence Europe to this day.